Hey guys, today in Art Club with Miss Burford, we'll be creating a family ghost portrait. You'll need a couple of sheets of tracing paper, an A4 sheet of black card, a pair of scissors, a black permanent marker, A4 sheets of card in a variety of colours, Pritt stick, a pencil and a ruler. Firstly, you need to decide if you're going to have your black sheet of paper landscape or portrait. It depends on how many people are going to be in your picture. And then with your tracing paper, lay it with the bottom of the tracing paper butted up against the black piece of paper. And then this will give you a guide for how tall your ghosts can be. So think about the people that you're going to do in your picture. So some may be taller, some may be shorter. I did my mum, dad and my pet dog for mine. However, some people have different family lives at home. So, for example, I have a child in my class who did 2 because they have shared parenting. So they did 2 different lots of family pictures, and that's absolutely fine. And if they really want to, instead of doing families, they could do friends in their picture instead. So you're just going to draw your ghost shapes for each person and then cut these out. And you'll see that when you overlap your ghost outlines, it changes the opacity, which creates the whole illusion of ghosts. So you're going to want to overlap some of your ghosties. And because of that, and there's only 4 of us in my picture, I decided to change mine to the portrait orientation rather than landscape. And you'll see that I did my mum and dad first, and then the smaller one is me. And then for an animal, like a dog or a cat, you may want to do some pointed ears, or if you want, you can do floppy ears if your animal has floppy ears. Or if you have a rabbit, you can do some nice long ears coming out the top of your ghost sheet. So have a little play out with your layout of your family of ghosts, and you'll see that the more you layer up, the more opaque your ghost becomes. This is great because then you can see which ghosts are in front and which ghosts are behind. And then stick them down with some Pritt stick in the position that you want. If you notice, I've done my position slightly away from the edge of my black card. That's because I'm going to add a frame to my ghost picture. If you are stuck on time, I suggest that you put your ghost right down touching the edge of your black paper, and don't bother with a frame if you don't have enough time for your lesson. But the frame, I just think, finishes it off, so I try to do one if I can. As you stick down each ghost, you're going to add the personality to your ghost, so you can add eyes. If you want to, you could add a hole for the mouth. But think about what your family looked like. So my dad had glasses, so I'm going to add glasses to this one. Just to add little details like that. For the females in my picture, I am just adding eyes, as I have something else that I'm going to add to show that they are the females in just a moment. Carry on sticking each of your ghosts down and adding your details as you go on each one. So I did mine looking like I'm looking at the ground. I've probably seen a spider or something knowing me. And you'll notice the Pritt stick leaves this funny texture. It will dry a little bit better, but it doesn't completely go away. So any suggestions for any other glue, maybe PVA glue might work better. So I said that I'd add some details for the females. I'm going to add a bow for each of them. So I did a C, then a 0, and then a backwards C to create this bow shape. So it's a small bow that I'm going to put angled on the one side of each of the females' heads. If you wanted to, you could do bows for bow ties for the males. Another thing you could do is you could do collars for animals. You just need to cut these out and then stick them on the edge of your ghost. I've done mine off to an angle. I think they look cute, but you could put them in the middle of the head. Entirely up to you. If you've done this just as a picture without a frame and you've done your ghost up to the edge of the black paper, then you are finished at this point. But if you are doing a frame, then you need to grab yourself some coloured card and we're going to work out what our width is that we need to do our frame around the edge. On the previous clip, you saw me measuring up around the edge of my picture, seeing what width frame I need to cover the edge of the ghost at the bottom, so you haven't got that uneven edge, and to just go around the edge of my picture without being too wide and covering my main picture. I think I settled on 4 centimeters, but yours might be different to that. And I'm just translating that information onto this sheet of A4 card, which is going to be the colour of my frame. So going around the edge, I marked out 4 centimeters from the edge and then just join them up with the ruler. Don't forget to repeat that step on each side, so you need to mark a few areas along that one side and join up with your ruler. Adults may need to help with this next part. We're going to use our scissors close together to push through the middle of our frame. Cut out from this hole that you've just made and cut it right up to that border that we drew earlier. Now you can layer your frame onto your picture that you've done, and you can see that it covers that wobbly edge that I had of the ghost just nicely. When you're happy with it and you've checked that it's got straight edges and the width of your frame is right, you can then glue it onto your black sheet of card. If you have any black bits of card showing around the edge of your frame, you can just trim these off with scissors just to neaten it up a bit. And if you've run out of time at this point, you have finished. This is your framed picture. If you still have more time to carry on with your picture, you may want to decorate your frame. I haven't on here, I left it as this, I liked it as it was. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more art lessons like this and other art related content every now and then. See you next week for more Art Club with Miss Burford.